Welcome back to Turbo Addicts channel. I know, guys, I haven't been posting a lot of boat stuff recently. Today's going to be another type of how-to video. It's not a vape video, not a boat video. It is a Ford Explorer video, and brought to you by me, Jersey. My dash in my 2000 Ford Explorer Sport, the fuel gauge light, the backlight that lights up the actual gauge, went out, and it drives me fucking bananas. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix it, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. So you need a couple things to do it. So if any of your gauge lights go out, this is essentially how you fix any of them. If it's a blown light bulb, you need 194 light bulbs. These ones are for the main cluster lights, so your speedometer, your tachometer, fuel, oil pressure, water temperature, battery voltage is a 194, and anything else like an indicator is a 37 light bulb. So I think there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, there's 6 of these in there, I guess, 6 or 7. So you need a 7mm socket and an 8mm socket. So I'm gonna kind of clip through this and just show you how I'm doing it, and I'll let you know how much total time it took me and any tricks along the way. So the first thing you gotta do, and I don't know if it's gonna focus for you or not, up underneath the dash here, there's 3 7mm bolts. You're gonna want to take those off. Those 3 screws out. You're gonna want to remove the 2 7mm screws up underneath here. Okay, next, after you get those 2 screws removed, you're gonna want to remove the 4 screws down here. There's one here, one over on this end, and then there's 2 up underneath the hood release latch that you'll see that kind of actually bolt the hood release down. So those are also 7mm. You're gonna want to remove those 4. Okay, the next step after you take those out is to remove this bottom panel. There's delicate pins up here, so the first thing that you're gonna want to do is pull it out straight towards you and try not to break the pins, and that'll open up the access underneath. Once you have the panel off, typically there's a metal panel that covers this area. It's covered with 4 8mm screws. Someone had been in here previously and decided not to put it back. So the next step is to take off the 2 7mm screws that hold the bottom of the dash cluster in. Okay, the next step is to put your fingers around the radio bezel and pull it slightly towards you to pop it out just a couple inches so that you can get this loose. And the next step, what you do after that is you're going to actually pull this cover off straight towards you. But to do that and to gain a little bit better access, it's best to put this down in like first. So to do that, you're going to put the key in the ignition. You're going to set the parking brake. You're going to turn it to on. You're going to step on the brake and rotate this to first gear just as you would any other shifting procedure. At this point, you're gonna hear the ding ding noise, the fucking ding ding noise. So, parking brake is already set here. Put it on, turn the key to on, step on the brake, and rotate this bitch down into first gear to have access. So that's gonna drive some people a little nuts. There you go. So, next is to pull it out. Okay, now on the back of the cluster there's a small connector that goes right here, and it hangs right there. Disconnecting that will allow you to take this whole thing and basically rotate it completely out of the way for you to access the instrument cluster. So now that you're in here, there's just the 4 7mm screws here that allow you to access. By pulling out on the left side, this whole thing will pop out. So I'm going to show you behind there. I don't need to take the whole thing out because I don't need to get to all of them. But back there you'll find these. that are screwed into the back. Sorry about that burp. Clockwise installs them, counterclockwise uninstalls them. And as you can see here, this thing's blown. Ooh, excuse me, I got the hiccups now. So as you can see, installation is reverse of removal. Really straightforward. Just an assortment of fucking screws. You just take them out in that order and the whole thing will come apart. Fortunately, I did not have to remove the entire cluster to go ahead and do this job. If you did, and you might have to disconnect the shift cable, shift indicator cable, if you will, that shows everything on the cluster. So it's back, it's fixed. I only had to do the one, so I didn't have to pull it out completely. I'm just gonna drive it around the block real quick to make sure that everything in the parking brake has come loose. The parking brakes tend to stick. So the only thing I want to say is that I just want to give credit where credit's due for this. Chuck McWilliam did this write-up on how to do this, and he got the information from Jacob Dreyer. And I, in turn, found the information on explorerforums.com, and they had an easy breakdown how to get to the gauge cluster and replace those light bulbs. So if you're an Explorer owner, check them out. It's not a promotion for them, but they've got a lot of useful information on there. So that's pretty much it for right now. Be checking back in later. It's warming up around here. It's still winter, but I got a 1500 XS outboard that needs to go on a boat. So hope you guys have a good weekend. Hope it helps.